Just like hawks, yeah, we on trees. Looking at this captivity where they carry me. They told us oh, and now we bleeding. Oh, it's such a tragedy. Trying to bury me. What's in my blood the day I came out? If I could get him out, I gave my tongue and I'm on they eat him, no doubt. He said raise it, and he gets more than pain, no doubt. They eat him, no doubt. Just to raise it, and he gets daughter of Babylon. Happy shall we be when he will reward thee. When you service the Lord. I said, I'm talking about Jerusalem, mother of us all. They carried us to Babylon. I'm singing this song. The way I've seen them scriptures that was talking about me. I pray my brothers and my sisters could hear that I'm talking about Jerusalem, the mother of us all. Carried us to Babylon. I'm singing this song. The way I've seen the scriptures that was talking about me. I pray my brothers and my sisters could see that I'm talking about Jerusalem.
My heart is in the motherland. Truly know if I can't accomplish it. Words can't glory to the most high lips. Don't praise nothing other than spirit. Give me utterance. Can't expect them to understand. Laws and statutes are only government. Captivity over. Bounce back like a rubber band. Grateful the Father gave us another chance. Christ laid down his life for us to live. What a friend, took out the land for the sins that we paid for. They burnt the temple in the city we prayed toward. Jerusalem, city of peace, Messiah is ruling them. Oh Israel, the Lord God is one, it can't be two of them. Trying to put forth an effort. Oh, a higher mercy, it can't be measured. Israel number like the sand. We be led back to the land through a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
Yes. Welcome back. Thursday edition with the Born a Levi experience. How is everybody doing in the room? How we all doing this evening? Sorry for the tardiness, but we are here nonetheless. I just want to make sure that I'm coming in nice and clear. Oh, my audio is low out here. See, this is why I always say it before I get started. I know we're going to get started, but brothers and sisters, really quickly, if I'm coming in nice and clear, please put a quam in the chat. If not, then I'm going to go and fix it. But I just need to know how everybody is doing. Just throw a quam up in there if I'm coming in nice and clear. Audio is choppy, okay? Connection is bad. Oh, okay. Let's figure this thing out. Let me figure this thing out. 1 second. I think I know what it is. Okay, so I'm seeing it's better now. Okay, I don't want to start the show on a bad note, but I need to know if I'm coming in nice and clear, brothers and sisters. Let me remove this out the way. Maybe that's what's affecting it. How about now? Because y'all gonna make me come out and come back in and restart my intro. But if I'm coming in nice and clear really quickly, brothers and sisters, please drop a quam in the chat so we could continue. And you may have to probably what is it called? Refresh your page. If that's the case. All right, I see the cons coming in. All good, loud and clear. Somebody said buzzing. You may have to refresh your page. Try refreshing your page. And maybe that'll help. Because I'm getting qualms good here. We all good. And I think the people who probably was on from the beginning is probably, gotta just refresh your page. But we are here nonetheless for another Thursday edition of the Born and Levi Experience. I thank you guys for coming in once again for this evening's conversation. Right? What happens when the children of God wake up? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is happening in the earth now that the children of Israel is coming back to their God? All right, I see the super quam there. That's what I like to see. Yeah, audio is nice and clear now. All right, all praises, all praises. So I'm thinking. Somebody said I'm hearing you nice and clear. It's just accompanying with a buzzing. I think I know what it is. All right, well, check it now. I just want to make sure this stream is nice and good so we could get started. But listen, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know, because I can't even hear what's going on y'all end. But we're gonna start the show nonetheless. We're gonna start the show. And for those of you guys who are now coming in, probably try to refresh your page so that way we could get started with this tonight's broadcast. But as you guys can see, we're going into the topic: what happens when the children of God wake up? Coming up next.
This is the Born of Levi Experience on G.O.C.C. Media.
All right, all right, all right. So let's get started. Let's get started. How we all doing this evening? I'm hearing it sounds like a fan buzzing. All right, give me 1 second, because now this is driving me crazy. Okay, now this is driving me crazy. All right. Oh, I hear that too. I hear the sound too. Okay. I know what to do. Right? Give me 1 second. I may have to turn this off. Okay. How we all sounding now? How we all sounding now, brothers and sisters? Just gotta make sure that everything is up and running. This is insane. Let me see this here now. 1 second. All right, it should be better now. 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 It should be much better. Because y'all threw me off. I seen the super quam in the chat, and then now I don't see the super quam. Now I'm seeing buzzing. All right, perfect. Okay. You see, process of elimination. All right. I know what it is now. All praises. All praises. And thank you guys for bearing with me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Like I said, welcome back to the Born and Levi Experience here on G.O.C.C. Media for another Thursday edition. Thank you guys for dropping the qualms in the chat and let me know that my volume is now better. I like that. Gregory Stewart says, perfect. You could cook now. Okay, we gonna cook. Straight olive oil. That's what we bringing tonight. Now I see somebody threw a mega quam in there. All right, we gonna cook tonight. We gonna cook tonight. I see what it is. It's my old interface. I gotta get rid of that thing. But anyways, we are here, brothers and sisters. Well, that means no sound effects tonight, so it's all good. I don't need no sound effects. Right? We are here. What happens when the children of God finally start to wake up? And this is a conversation, and this came about through a series of videos that I've seen, a series of news pieces that I've also seen. You already know the time that we're living in right now. They're trying to incite race wars, and I could also understand that certain situations are somewhat isolated. When I say isolated, meaning isolated outside of the control of the powers that shouldn't be, and those isolated problems that happen amongst our in our communities or around us, the news media pieces, they usually use that to try to incite whatever war. But what happens when now the people who used to just get up in arms and flustered for every single situation that would happen in our communities no longer is bothered by the theatrics? What happens when we no longer follow suit to their programming? And brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you right now, tonight, that the fact that a majority of our people is turning away from the mainstream apparatus or the grips of the mainstream media of telling you, take this, go here, don't go here, do this, put this on your face, don't put it on your face. The fact that a lot of us is tuning that sound out, this is the reason why we see the tensions rising even further in the Middle East, and why we're also starting to feel it here at home with the rise of the growing steady rise of gas prices, the interest rates, okay, sky high, right? Inflation, price of groceries. I mean, $100 used to go a long way when you used to go to do groceries, or you go to the market. Now you'll be happy if you get like 5 items in your cart. You spend $100, right? So we're seeing the steady increase of what's the tensions that was happening in the Middle East, and through my projections, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better, brothers and sisters. It's going to get worse. And when I say worse, I'm not saying worse in a sense for you guys to be afraid. It's for us to understand and know that the Most High, He's actually working towards our salvation. He's working in bringing our salvation full circle. Like it tells us in the Apocrypha, I believe is in Second Esdras, right, where the things that we're seeing happening with the nations throughout the four corners of the earth, what the scriptures call, these are scourges of amendment. Scourges of amendment. The Most High is sending these plagues, is sending these situations on earth to change what has been already established, not by Him, but by the powers that shouldn't be, under their God, right? And if you didn't know who their God is their God is the same God that tried to offer our Lord and Savior the world, which was Satan, Lucifer himself, right? So these are scourges of amendment, and this is a beautiful time, right, for those who have eyes to see. It's scary for those who don't know left from right. It's scary for those people who don't have a clue on what's happening. They're just fixated on what's in front of them. They're okay with entertainment. Just throw on the game and everything is gonna be all right. All your sorrows, will be drowned away. Just go to the movies, right? Let's go see a play. Let's go to a concert. Matter of fact, let's just hit the club. Drowning your sorrows in hard drink and what the scripture calls it, chambering. Okay, sleeping around and doing all of this stuff. People think that they could drown away their sorrows And that's how they could fix what's going on around them. But what if that's not the fix? Because you're gonna wake up to the same problems. You're gonna wake up in the same world with the same issues that everybody is facing. So for them, it's more so scary because they don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring. But for us, this is our faith right here. This is the patience of the faith right here, of the saints right here. Understanding what's to come. It's an exciting feeling. It's just a wonderful time to be alive, to actually now be living in a time where we could read the scriptures and see it play out as we're living. And this is just giving us hope day by day that we're getting closer and closer to the finish line, right? But once again, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for being faithful viewers and subscribers to this channel. I appreciate you all. I also want to make mention, let me make mention of this as well too. If you guys can, I'm gonna drop, matter of fact, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat as well too, so you guys can go and check that out. Let me put this here. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Go check out Journey to the Kingdom mixtape volume 1. Volume 1 and volume 2 is actually out too, by our very own DJ King Styles. See, if I had my other interface, I would have just dropped some sound effects there, but I gotta work out the kinks. But I'm gonna pin it to the chat right here. I just dropped the link to it in the chat where you could go and check it out. Volume 1 and volume 2, great mix. Journey to the Kingdom volume 1. This is the reggae one. All my Benjamites stand up. I already know y'all gonna like this one. And volume 2 is for my hip hop heads. Volume 1 and volume 2 is streaming now, so catch this after the show. Got some good vibes. You want to work out too, clean your house, chill music. There you go. Journey to the Kingdom. Go and check that out after the stream. It'll be a blessing, right? What else we got going on? Matter of fact, that's all I'll do for now. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, here we go. So, brothers and sisters, now is the time for us to be locked in. And the reason why I said that I wanted to have this conversation with you all, right? Let me fix this. I got to play a couple of videos from my phone. But nonetheless, I pray that you all are doing blessed. And as you guys come in, continue to hit that like button. Drive the traffic, drive the algorithms. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Sorry. All right. So, I know a lot of you guys have been seeing the news lately as far as this story, and all of this is going to come full circle, right? How I'm going to bring it. How we've been seeing this story with that young brother named Carmelo Anthony. when I first heard the story, I thought it was like the actual Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, the former New York Knicks Carmelo Anthony, but it was a young brother in the state of Texas, I believe. And I didn't really know the full story, and I didn't know what was going on, but on the surface, it just looks like tensions between black and white, right? You have a black boy or a black young man who unalive a white young man. And it was crazy because they were twins, right? The white young men, they were twins. And I didn't really pay it no mind. Then I just kept seeing it. So I started listening to it. And the media, which is so sad. And this is the reason why, and I believe this is the reason why a lot of our people are starting to grow tired of this system, because for years, black people, we've always got the short end of the stick, especially when it came down to injustice or finding justice within this system. It's like we can never find real judgment. No one is really here to really plead our cause. But it's done like that, it's strategically done like that by design, by purpose. The Most High actually did this to us. When we read scriptures like Deuteronomy 28, and where it says, I believe, 28 and 68, the main scripture that, that really opened up a lot of our eyes to see that, we are the children of Israel when it's, speaking about the slave ships. But there it says that no man, at the end of that scripture, it says no man would buy us. Or when you look at the Hebrew word that's there, is to redeem us. So the Most High was letting us know, if we turned away from following him, eventually we would be serving the hands of our enemies. And it wouldn't be a regular type of slavery. It would be a servitude that no man would be able to save us from. And it would only be by the hand of the Most High, the same way how he did it the first time, us leaving Egypt. That's the way that the Most High would save us the second time. So now, when we see the injustices that happens amongst our people, or to our people, even to some of us, right? And to Wada Akbraven for the super chat, all praises, right? When we see the injustices that happen here on this soil to our people, a lot of us get frustrated. We get, it's like, we see it's like the same song and dance. Like, it's like we became accustomed to just being treated like nothing. Right? The water for the super chat. Ahaya Shaw, Ahaya 50. All praises. Right? It's like we became accustomed to just being second class citizens, or being basically our lives worth nothing, to the point where it has psychologically destroyed us, to the point where we don't even value our own race. We'll put another race over our own race because of the self-hate that we were taught. Just imagine generations of our people just seeing our people getting hung on trees, burnt alive, persecuted by the KKK, segregation. We seeing our prominent leaders that rise up before us get gunned down for trying to help the people. Seeing that generation after generation, that kind of makes one want to give up. Don't y'all agree with that? I was like, like damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation. And it's put our people in a state of slumber, to where we just started to just accept everything that came from the hands of our enemies. And what's so crazy is the next generation we were growing up not knowing that we were under the hands of our enemies. Here it is, the same people that enslaved us is now the same people that's, quote unquote, curing us in these hospitals. The same people that enslaved us is now the same people that's educating us in these schools. The same people that enslaved us are the same people that give us the credit score and give us loans and put certain restrictions on us than other people. But we don't, we growing up kind of, I would say we were green, to a certain extent, because we growing up thinking that, it is what it is. I mean, we all the same. That's what they that's what they taught us. But it's not until we started to wake up, we started to question all the things that's happening around us, we starting to realize, like, they're really not playing fair with us. It's like, and they did a great job doing that, right? Because I would say from my generation, like I would say more so where peep from the I would say late 70s, early 80s, they started to like I would say, especially in the 90s, I should say. That this is where the education or the education books really started to change. Forget about right now in the 2000 eras. Like the history books has completely changed. I don't even know, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even know if they even still teach slavery or teach about slavery in these schools. I don't know. Cause I remember when I was coming up in school, like, you know, elementary school or early 90s, we were taught about a little bit about slavery, not too much, right? But we were taught more so about segregation and, you know, Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King, right? They rarely spoke about Malcolm X. Like they framed him as the enemy. Like they used to, like I grew up thinking that Malcolm X was the bad guy and and Martin Luther King was the good guy. I don't know about y'all, but that's how I grew up. I grew up thinking that way. But they did a great job with the education of how we viewed white people. And I'm not saying that we should view them as, you know, the enemy, so to speak, but they did a really great job with not making us understand who were the ones actually behind the enslavement of our people. Yes, granted, when we come into the truth, we understand it was because of our own doings why, you know, we went into slavery. And if we did not stray away from our God, they would have absolutely no power against us or over us. But they did a great job not really like not really explaining to us or making us see, yeah, we're the ones who actually put y'all in slavery. They just start with, yeah, you guys were enslaved. Yeah, and then in the South in the 60s, you guys had to sit behind the bus. But not really saying who allows this? Who's allowing this? You understand what I'm saying? So we just thinking that we were taught thinking like, yo, this is regular. But that was like a Jedi mind trick kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm the one lighting the match and burning your house, but I'm just gonna show you and tell you, yeah, your house burned down. And we like, oh yeah, wow, crazy, the house burned down. But none of us thought to say who burnt the house down though. Like who burnt it? You see what I'm saying? Like that's the way they kind of taught us. And it kind of made us not really think of the hand behind the misery, but we just thought that, okay, this is the way it's just supposed to be. But they didn't factor in a generation that would question their rule of law, their thought process. They didn't factor in this generation that would question everything that we was force fed. They didn't factor that in. Right? And they didn't take heed to the Most High's prophecy that the Most High say what? That he would revive us. Matter of fact, I'm going to read that first before I go into this video. Let me read this first before we go into the first video, speaking about the young man who was unalived by Carmelo Anthony. I don't want to go too far from the point, but since it's hot on my mind right now, I'm gonna just read this scripture right now. I'm gonna go to the book of Hosea. Hosea 6:1. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here. Right? Look at this. They did not factor in this right here. Like I said, their level of education against us was, okay, they're being pacified. And we could continue to force feed them whatever it is we want because they're just listening to us. But a generation came out of these people that started questioning everything. And this is what we have right now. This is what we have going on right on the earth right now. And this is why I say the millennials, like that generation, is a special generation because why? We had We had access to both sides. We had access to the generation before us, and we have access to the generation of technology. So we're able to add both together. Special generation. Started questioning things. We started looking at things a little bit differently. And we started to hear the sound of the voice of the Most High through our teachers, through our elders, right? Who, shout out to Elder Rawchaa and all of the elders who took a stance and was like, nah, we're gonna go and prophesy to the wind, and we're gonna speak to our people. And this is how we're here now. Because we was able to make sense of what he was saying, because we seen it and it was in the back of our mind. But once somebody puts it right in front of your face, it's like, okay, it makes sense. These are the questions that I had. Nobody was able to answer them. But the powers that should not be, they didn't factor this in right here. Hosea 6:1, it says what? It says, come and let us return unto the Lord. Why? For he hath torn. You see, a lot of us was just seeing the trauma that was happening to our people. We were just living and seeing the history books like, oh dang, look, they hang our ancestors on trees. Look at and this is the crazy part. In the textbooks, they would have images of a burnt person's body. And it's like, yeah, this is an African American male being burnt. And you just see an image of that with a whole bunch of white people behind that image, and just looking at, you know what I'm saying, and just looking at the dead burnt body right there. It's insane. But here it is. It says, "Come, let us return to the Lord, for he hath torn." So this was never taught to us. We was never taught that the reason for our plight on this side of the earth was because of our disobedience. We just thinking that we're being treated like this because we're black. and I'm gonna read the scripture, but like, so much thoughts is coming to my mind, where I remember growing up as a kid, going to Sunday school. I used to always ask my Sunday school teacher, and I had to be like probably about what, anywhere between 14 to 16 at this time. I used to always ask my teacher, like my Sunday school teacher. I used to say, okay, they used to talk about, they used to say stuff like, God loves everybody no matter what. If I could pay, or if I could get $1 for all the times that I heard that growing up in the Christian church, God loves everybody no matter what. But me as a kid, I'm looking around what I'm being taught in school. I'm looking at what I see on TV. I'm looking at how I'm being treated as a young so-called African American when I walk into a store. Right? I'm walking in the street, minding my business. I have a do-rag on, yeah, whatever. But I'm walking past, we in broad daylight, I'm walking past a white lady, and she's clutching her purse. and she clutching her purse. But me being mischievous when I was younger, you know what I used to do? I was so bad. I used to walk past them, and then when I used to see them clutching their purse, I used to jump like, hey, what are you doing? And make them jump. Ah! And I used to, me and my friends, we used to just start laughing. But we had to make fun of it because it was always in our face. So we had to find a way to make fun of it so that way we don't feel less than. That's the kind of lives we grew up in. So back to what I'm saying, I used to ask my Sunday school teacher, yo, you telling me in Sunday school God loves me no matter what, but when I go out there in the world, I don't see God loving me no matter what. I just see I'm born into this world, and I do not know why these people hate me the way they hate me, or why they treating me because of the color of my skin, the level of my education. Why these people treating me like that? Why they so afraid of me? Why do they hate me? No one was there to teach us that it was the Most High God who put us away. Because that was my immediate question in my mind. You telling me about this God that loves me no matter what, but yet does God love me? What's wrong with me? Why if God loved me, why does the world hate me? That's the question I used to ask. And I used to get the same response. I used to get the response, well, we can't question God. I used to be like, okay, so what? Can't question God. So what are you telling me right now? How am I supposed to find the answers to, and if you're teaching me? I remember I used to ask my dad, may the Most High rest his soul as well too. Why were we slaves? Who are we? Like what and I used to ask my dad, out of all the people on the earth, and this is before I found the truth too, as a young inquisitive mind, just looking at all the people in the world and looking at my race of people. We Christians, right? Christ died for us all, but why did God make us be slaves? Why can I go to school, okay, and I can learn about my people being put on slave ships, and then they make movies about my people being tortured? You understand what I'm saying? And so it just did not make no sense. And I got the same response. We can't question God. God, like Haitians, they got this proverb that they say, God is an adult. He does what he wants. So all my Levites who's watching, y'all know that phrase I'm talking about, right? Like I would say it in Creole, but I don't want to be speaking in tongues. Yeah, I'm like, what this brother talking about? But that's a proverb that Haitians have. God is an adult. He does what he wants. And as a kid, you're like, all right, that makes sense. You can't question God. But what if you can question God? What if God wants you to question him so that way you could find the answer? And here it is, Hosea 6:1, come and let us return unto the Lord. Why? For he hath torn, see, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After what? 2 days will he revive us. And in the third day, he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Excuse me. So clearly the enemy, I'm gonna come back to this scripture a little later, but clearly the enemy did not factor in Hosea 6:1, that eventually the Most High will begin to revive his people. And I believe that's what he started doing with our generation. Like, started making us question things, because none of this stuff make no dang sense. This is why no doctrine, no outside understanding can move me from what I understand and what I believe. Because this Christ was the only information. This Bible was the only information that could show me why we are being treated the way we were being treated. Right? So back to the story with Carmelo Anthony, the young man who has now been prosecuted. I believe, I haven't been following the story too much, but I believe that he got prosecuted, or he got sentenced, I should say, not prosecuted. He got sentenced. He got sentenced for the unaliving of I don't even know the guy's name. The Caucasian young man, Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, one of the two, I don't know. Right, so he got sentenced. But the story didn't make sense, because what the media did, they put a spin on it as if Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor. I don't know if you guys were paying attention, if you guys seen that. They made it as if Carmelo Anthony, the young African American boy, was the aggressor, when that was not the case. Let me play this video. Okay, let me play this video. Is he gonna play? All right. Let me play this video. And this is a man on YouTube, on Instagram, explaining that, right? Explaining the actual story. So and this falls in line with us, with me saying in the beginning, like we don't get afforded the same level of justice as other people on on this side of the soil. It's as clear as day. And they have video evidence. They had eyewitnesses that this young man, Carmelo Anthony, was not the aggressor. It was the twins, the white boy twins. And here it is, we just be minding our business, and these people just come out of nowhere. So let's listen to this.
They surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds.
Can you I just want to make sure y'all can hear it, because I can't even hear it on my side. Let me see if there's something I'm supposed to do here. Give me 1 second. Let me know if y'all was able to hear that young man, if y'all was able to hear him speak. Were y'all able to hear it? Just let me know. Right? Let me put the volume down just a little bit.
A pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push.
There's something I'm supposed to do here.
Push, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more than the twins that got some licks on them. So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Hear it, right?
Okay.
And you have.
Let me pause it. Y'all can hear it? All right, I see. All right, I see y'all can hear it. All right, good. I just want to make sure, because I can't hear it on my side. Let me see if I can do something. Forgive the noise if there's a little bit static in the background. Let me see something here.
You had the light bright boy here, and you had the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's where I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonized. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you don't have to touch me.
So unfortunately, Texas law is a little bit more complicated than that. I'm not going to dive into that, but I want you to watch this video, and then I want you to take a look at the self-defense law at the end of the video.
But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there, and whatever they say alleged but said, you don't know that until they get into it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Carmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time.
You see? So he was actually trying to get away. And this is the side of the story that they did not show. They're not telling the public. So this young man was acting in self-defense. And another thing, I'm going to play another video too, where you're going to see how the media was trying to paint this young man.
Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Again, I got to see this video, because what he's explaining paints a completely different picture than what the prosecutors shared at their opening statements.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone, but they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Carmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach.
So I think this is an important area to pay attention to. If he tried to get away, they pulled him back, and then he's running from them after the exchanges of blows and maybe even what he did with the knife and Metcalf, then there's a possibility. I mean, a high possibility, and the probability skyrockets because these individuals were chasing him as well after putting their hands on him. If what this gentleman is saying holds true and the video represents it, he has a strong self-defense case.
And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Carmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Carmelo's out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement.
Okay, part two, straight to the video.
All right, so as you guys could see, that's the side of the story that they're not telling the public. They're not showing us this. They're making it seem as if he was the aggressor and he unalived a person that was what they try to say that like, you know, was trying to get away from him, or to that effect. And they also made a lie and said that he brought a knife into a school. And brothers and sisters, do you know that where they were at was not a school? It was a public track meet area. Oh, miles away from the school. So it wasn't a school. So they try to make it seem like he brought a weapon into school. You know, you want to know how I know they try to do that? Let me show y'all. Look at this. Look at this video right here. Let me go back to this. Look at this. And look, and this is what they do to us all the time. Because I'm telling you, had this been the other way around, it wouldn't have gone like this. But listen to this. So this is a closer footage of Carmelo Anthony leaving from court after getting released on bond from $1 million to $250K. And I'm gonna tell y'all something about this too. I'll come back to that, but listen to this.
All right. Come on now. Just follow the behind us. Just stay close, okay?
So this is him leaving after being released on bond, right? Look.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say, Carmelo? Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Carmelo, why were you armed at school?
You see what she said? Why were you armed at school? And this didn't take place in a school or on school grounds. This is what they do. Trying to spin it to make him look like a monster before you go to trial. And there's other videos that I've seen where, you know, they were actually withholding certain information to the courts that they did not release. And certain information that they released to the public was not supposed to be released on before the trial.
Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
You see, explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense? Because that's what he's telling them. He was defending himself. Like, why would he just out of nowhere go and unalive a person in broad daylight, in public, at a track meet? What took place before that? But that's what they're not gonna share that side of the story. See?
Anything you like to say?
So these are the same news media, right? That is behind our education. That tells us what to do. That gives us information. And look at the way we're being treated. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? What's crazy is also, couple of months ago, there was a situation in New York where, and I know a lot of you guys heard this story, where this white boy named Luigi Mangione, probably Italian. A lot of y'all have probably heard of this story. Luigi Mangione, he, apparently in broad daylight assassinated the CEO of what is it? United Healthcare, the CEO of United Health. And he's still on trial. All the evidence point to him. Let me get this out of the way. All the evidence point to him doing the crime. There's video of him doing it. They found his backpack with all of the things that he used to do the crime. A journal, right? But they still not willing to sentence him yet. Still going through trial. And that happened months ago. And now here it is, this young man, Carmelo Anthony, who's done a crime, in the eyes of what we could say is a crime. But in actuality, it was self-defense, and already he's sentenced. And it goes back to what I was saying. You see how the scale of justice is not the same for us. And the Most High said that too in the scriptures, where he hates an unbalanced scale. The Most High hates that. The Most High hates an unbalanced scale. He hates when people does not render proper judgment. This is the reason why there is a judgment coming to this place. It's inevitable. This is the reason why there's a judgment coming, because look at the injustice that's still being done on this land towards God's people. And they have the resources, they have the finances, and they have the technology to give us a fair trial, but they never do. They never do. Here was another. Well, no, I'm not even gonna play that one. I'm gonna move on from this. Right? Give me 1 second. So we see here on one side, you see how they treat us. And somebody asked, what about Alex Murdaugh new trial? Who's Alex Murdaugh? Somebody quickly tell me, because I don't know about that story. I really don't know about that story. So please, put a link in the chat or let me know real quick. I'll look at it real quickly. Okay? And thank you all for coming in. Please continue to hit that like button on your way in. I greatly appreciate it. So we see how they treat us when it comes to justice. It's not fair. But like we read it in the beginning, and we understand that the Most High said, no man will redeem us from this level of punishment. Like it's only right for us to start searching for another way, because all of these injustices, all of these things that's against us, and these conspiracies that is not conspiracies anymore, and I'm gonna show you one that I'm gonna be talking about right now after this one. All of the conspiracies that we found out, which was not conspiracies, this was really being done to our people. Now that they're being revealed, okay, now that these things are being revealed, our people is looking for answers. Like our people is looking for, it gotta be another way, because you can't be doing all of this evil towards us and there's not another way. And when I speak about evil, y'all, I seen this one this morning. Okay, and when I seen this, I was blown away. Let me play this video. But the thing is, brothers and sisters, they've been doing this stuff to us for years. They've been doing this stuff to us for years. And especially, and matter of fact, let me just play the video. Let me play the video. Hold on. Let me play this video. Let me see if somebody, let me see. Oh, matter of fact, I might as well play that now. Play that next. Because I wasn't gonna play it, but Alex Murdoch. Okay, so I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name, but this is the story right here y'all talking about, right? That's the kid, Alex Murdoch. That's him, right? Y'all can just put it in the chat really quickly. That's him. The young kid, the young 14-year-old kid that was unalive by gas station clerks, Chinese, the Asians. This is it. Take a look at this. This is another. I should have played it. I don't know why they didn't want to play it, but this is another example right here. Look at this. Look at this. You hear it?
Just see here, he grabbed the 4 water bottles.
Hold on. Can y'all hear it? Oh, it's probably not even.
And puts all 4 back. And she's standing there. Doing what?
Hold on, real quick. So this is not the Alex Murdoch. This is another situation. Because this is a situation that I've seen. Okay. This is the reason. This is the reason for the boycott. The boycott this case from South Carolina. Right, but this I've seen this too. Apparently, the Chinese man was acquitted, right, of this crime. And as you can see in the camera, the Chinese lady was following him. You know this remind me of the scene from Menace to Society. Right? Chinese lady walking to the store, hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. Okay, say no. Alex Murdoch Esau was the rich lawyer who killed his wife and son. And last week said he gets a new trial on the most ridiculous technicality. Oh, see, I didn't hear about that, but that's another level of foolishness. That's another level of foolishness. How is it that you unalive your whole family and then you still going through trial for that? What? But this is another tragic situation right here too. It's 14-year-old kid. Hurry up and buy. Right? Look. Just he didn't even do nothing. Hooked up the waters and put it back in the thing.
Leaving peacefully. They'll get so scared of him.
They chase him.
I wanted to piece together all of the surveillance footage that was shown because number one, it shows all of the angles. Number two, I'm tired of the stupid comments of people, oh, but he stole the water bottles. Oh, but he threatened them. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. In fact, his own surveillance footage shows that he blatantly lied to police, that he never stole anything, that from the moment he walked in, he was respectful. He put the backpack down. He didn't argue with anyone. And that she, on the other hand, his wife, harassed him the entire time. When he was walking towards the water bottles, she's standing over the chips like this, monitoring.
You see? See? I need this. Another example. Another example where justice is not on the same level for us when it comes to what they do to us, because they don't consider us as anything, guys. Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, but it's the same situation. Say, and you should have seen his poor mom crying, right? Crying on TV. It's crazy. It's crazy what they do to us. So, like I was saying, when it comes to the conspiracies, what we thought were conspiracies, but are no longer conspiracies because it's being revealed. One of the conspiracies was, years ago. Remember when they were telling us about the whole Tuskegee experiment, when they was coming into our neighborhoods and shooting black people up with syphilis. For years, they were saying that was a conspiracy, but it came out to be true. This is what they were doing to us, using us as lab rats. Look at this, though. And like I said, I've seen this one this morning, and this is this is crazy.
Who knew?
Hold on, let me put this. This is the crazy one. So this sister, she made a video titled "What Oatmeal Experiments and an Apology." So look at this, guys. This is crazy to me right here.
That oatmeal is so dangerous. It's so dangerous that they had it had colleges, scientists, all conducting an experiment on almost 100 young men in Massachusetts who had some learning disabilities, told them that they were going to be in some kind of scientific camp and that they were going to feed them special foods that the other kids wasn't going to get. And the whole time they had attached, they were adding some plutonium or some radiation in their oatmeal for a long time. And so that made me do a deep dive, right, on why the oatmeal company had to pay out. If somebody was adding some poison chemical in your food, why would you have to pay for that? So apparently, the oatmeal company, y'all know the name of the oatmeal company, it's the largest one. So anyway, so apparently they wanted to claim that oatmeal had the same vitamin and mineral content as cream of wheat. That was it, as cream of wheat. And so that's why they had put radiation in the young man's food, so they can follow where the food was going, how the food was being distributed in their gut, right? And so the scientists, the doctors, the colleges, the prestigious colleges, they were all in on this experiment with the oatmeal. So why did the oatmeal company have to pay out? Right? And why would you, and why, if you have to go that hard to prove, to poison people, to prove that your product is on the same scale and it has some nutrient content that some of the other products had, boy, oh boy, that seems like an oxymoron, don't it? That you got to poison some people to see if your product it's nutrient dense. It don't even make sense, right? It don't even make sense. So anyway, I did a deep dive on oatmeal because my son eat oatmeal and I grew up eating oatmeal. And I know that's the first food that we give to our babies a lot of times after they come off of milk or to thicken their milk. We use an oatmeal. So I'm like, so why does it say oatmeal is an anti-nutrient? And I'm like, I had never heard the word anti-nutrient before, honestly, y'all. So I'm like, okay. So apparently it has phytic acid, some saponins. And y'all can look this up, and do a little research too. But I just think it's a shame that what the oatmeal is doing that a lot of us didn't know, it pulls the iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc out of.
Yeah, how many of us knew that? How many of you guys knew that by eating oatmeal, that it was pulling out those essential nutrients out of our stomach, out of our our digestive system?
The gut, out of the whole digestive process. And so when kids are young and they don't have enough iron, because oatmeal pulling out the iron and they're eating oatmeal, y'all, it causes learning disabilities too. And I'm like, because they need the zinc, they need the iron, because the iron is how the red blood cells carry the oxygen through the body and all that stuff. So it's like being oxygen deprived. So of course, after the experiment, you know, president at that time or later, that was in the office of some administrations back.
Somebody asked which oatmeal. In the beginning, she said the most popular brand of oatmeal that's out there. And I ain't gonna say the name because I ain't gonna get hit with no defamation, but we all know the largest manufacturer of oatmeal. We all see his face with the hat. Okay. All right.
He comes along and apologizes. And then I'm starting to realize that, didn't we hear an apology from him before on another experiment? And I'm like, yeah, that was the Tuskegee syphilis experiment from 1932 to 1972. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment on Black men and their wives and their babies. And I'm like, here we go again, another apology. Another apology.
Another apology.
We don't need no more apologies. We don't need no more oatmeal. We don't need no more poison food. We don't need no more of whatever it is that they talking about.
And you see that sounds like somebody who's waking up. We don't need no more of whatever these people is talking about. And I believe this is the time that we're in, where the Most High is waking up our people all over the earth, even if they don't know who He is yet, even if they don't know who Christ is yet. But there's something that everybody knows that we could all circle back and say, these are the people who's been lying to us. And this is what I'm talking about. What happens when the children of God start to wake up now? You can no longer lie to us about what you guys been feeding us, what you guys been giving us, administering to us upon birth. Our level of education, you guys are providing that to us. History, you could tell us anything. We'll believe it. Who's to say the history that y'all giving us is really history? Exactly. His story. So, you see, she sounds like she's waking up like, yo, we don't need nothing from these people. Why should we believe you? Oh, not this.
Are we done with them, y'all? Because if we not, we need to be done. Period. Stop eating oatmeal. It's no good for us. We can't afford not to have our iron and our zinc. We already getting little of it as it is, y'all. And when you look into how many people over 4 years old are iron deficient, it's most of the whole United States, y'all.
Wow.
The whole United States. No wonder we so sick. This is Trina.
You see, she said it's the whole United States. So it's not it's not just our children anymore. It's everybody. Everybody's under attack. But we were the target all along. So she was like, and I love how she phrased it. She was like, why do we need anything? Why do we need anything from these people? These are the people who we trusted to help us when we're sick, right? For nutrients. And look what they turn in, and look what they do to us. Look what they doing. And now that the Most High is, and you know what happened too, and I believe, I know for me, what actually made me start being more health conscious as far as what I'm putting in my body, it had nothing to do but with the laws of the Most High. Once I read that Leviticus chapter 11, and then I realized there was certain food that we are supposed to eat, and certain animals that we're not supposed to eat. That's what made me start looking at everything that I was putting in my body. Right? So praise the Most High for for the dietary law, because through that dietary law, it opened up my eyes to see, or help the scales fall off my eyes to see, okay, these people been poisoning us this whole time. And literally, literally it's by the grace of the Most High that we're still up and kicking and alive. Like, it's really the grace. It's really by His grace, because we've been eating this stuff forever. We go to their markets. We go to their, you know what I'm saying? We eat what they providing us, and we still here. And we still here, guys. So it's really by the grace of the Most High. It's really by the grace of the Most High. Let me show y'all this, right? And where is it? It's not by accident, right? So it's not by accident we all started waking up and realizing that there's something completely wrong with how we are being taught, right? What we are being told is good for us. The food that we're eating, the processed food that they've been giving us. It's not by accident all at once. We all started to have a shift, and now we're all, majority of us are now becoming more health conscious, more aware of what we're teaching our children, what we're teaching ourselves. Okay? Politically, we're even starting to understand and get involved and notice and understand what's happening outside of our neighborhoods. That's a whole mind shift right there. That's a whole mind shift. And that's what I said in the beginning, that they did not factor in a generation of people who would turn back to the Most High and start questioning the hands behind the mess. Right? Look at this. Let me show this. What's this? Right? Look at this. Let me show y'all this article. And I spoke about this before. Right? This is the National Library of Medicine. Okay? And this was published, this was in 2013. Can I make it bigger? Make it bigger. Right? Look at this. And it reads, y'all see the title of it? It says The Rise and Fall of Parental V Hesitancy. Y'all see what the V is. I'm not going to say it because they be, doing funny business when you say that word sometimes. So, the rise and fall of parental V hesitancy. So they've been noticing there's been that their numbers is not steady as it used to be. There's a fall in it. Sometimes it rises, sometimes it falls. But they was tracking this thing, right? Let me read where I was at. I wanted to read from here. There was a section I wanted to read. I lost it. Give me a second. Should have had it. Okay. Right here. So I'm gonna read from this part of the article right here. They've been tracking this thing. All right. It says public health impact of V hesitancy. So it says, With the rise of V hesitancy, increasing numbers of children are being put on alternative V schedules that differ from the recommended immunization schedule. The results in unnecessarily increased periods of risk exposure for contracting a VDP or VPD, excuse me. Consent or consentant with this. The incidence of several V preventable diseases has been on the rise. So it says in 2008 alone, this is back in 2008, they've been tracking this. In 2008 alone, the US saw 140 measles cases, more than twice the average number of annual cases from 2000 to 2007. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, this increase was not due simply to greater numbers of imported cases, but also to greater viral transmission within communities of unV'd individuals. 99 of 106 US born cases with known V histories were unV'd. Historically, significant breakouts of pertussis, mumps, and rubella have also occurred in the US, largely within under or unV'd population. So they saw a rise in numbers of people who didn't, who started to develop those type of symptoms because they chose to step away from the recommended schedule. So that was back in this article was back in 2013. Here it is, another article right here, and this is from the Washington Post. This is from the Washington Post. Can you get out this? I'm trying to get this out the screen. Let me get that screen. This is from the Washington Post. Then this article was last year, September. Well, they updated it last year, September 15, 2025. It says here, July 18th to August 4th, 2025, right? Washington Post KFF survey of parents. So let's take a look here. It says why 1 in 6 US parents are rejecting V recommendations. So they started to realize a rise of parents who's stepping away from their recommended schedule. That's alarming to them. Okay? Here's a document here. This is the document that they've been looking at where it shows you the numbers. Let me see if I could read it really quickly. Let's see. Oh, this is crazy. It's the biggest. What's the biggest threat, but not the biggest threat? Okay, nice. I want to see the actual article. Okay, this must be the white papers to the research that they've yeah, this is the white papers to the research that they've done concerning these schedules. So they've been tracking how people, right, is stepping away and finding alternatives to their recommendations. So it's alarming to them. And this, let me put this on the screen. I'm not gonna say that one is related to the other. I'm not gonna say that, but it's strikingly eerie that this man, who y'all know, one of y'all favorites, Mr. Bill Gates, Look at this. Look at this. This is something, and this is on Yahoo Finance. Bill Gates owns 275,000 acres of U.S. farmland. Now the question is, why would this man own so much acres of farmland? Would it have to do with this? Would it have to do with the public health impact of V hesitancy? I'm not saying it is, but you know, why does he own so much farmland? Why does this man owns so much farmland? It says Bill Gates owns 275,000 acres of U.S. farmland. He explains why he's buying so much, but it's not the grand scheme you think. The grand scheme that I think, I'm going to keep thinking that. But I ain't going to say that publicly because I don't know for sure or certain. Like, but for a man, because like, think about it, guys. For a man who's more, you know, mainly known for computers and building computer software and having Microsoft and virus protection. I think that's where it all started. His fascination with virus protection in computers. Right? So he was known for computers, electronics. But then he became one of the forerunners for public health. Making sure, wanted to make sure that people have their proper dosage. Even going into Africa and certain parts of India. Yo, that's, I don't know if y'all noticed, there's certain parts of India he can't go back to. He's probably, they want to grab him actually and put him on trial and imprison him for what he's done to the East Indians in India. Look it up. What he brought over there to those people. So this man owns 275,000 acres of farmland, right? Let's see. There was an article years ago, where, but they were saying it's not true, that he wanted to start. Well, matter of fact, his company called Appeal. Matter of fact, let me look that up right now. Bill Gates' company Appeal. What is it? Appeal. Oh, so now look at this. Now all of a sudden they're saying Bill Gates does not own, advise. Look how they updated it with AI. Bill Gates does not own, advise, or hold any ownership stake in Appeal Sciences. The Bill, but listen to this though. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation provided 2 early research grants totaling less than 1.1 million between 2012 and 2015 to help startup address post-harvest food waste in developing regions lacking refrigeration. So he don't own it, but he provided money for the research. And the whole thing with the Appeal, their technology, there was something with the, I believe there was something with the coding. They were coating the fruits and vegetables with some type of preservative, for shelf life. But that preservative was causing and giving people cancers and stuff like that. So, but his name was tied to this. And he owns all of these acres of farmland. And I don't know if you guys remember, but he also had said this. Y'all remember when he said this? Fair use.
Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So he said he said the earth is heading to about 9 billion people of population. But if we do a good job on, like he said, his words, not mine, if we do a good job on vaccines, we could bring that number down to 15 to 20%. Bring the number of the population down 15 to 20%, 25%. Why would anybody in their right mind would want to bring down the number of population? Since we're going to 9 billion, we probably surpassed that already. But why would anybody in their right mind want to bring down population and the total number of the population of this earth? And how is he gonna do that? Let's hear his words again. These are his words, not mine. How are they gonna do it? How are they gonna bring down the number of the world's population by 15 to 20%? How are they gonna do it? Let's hear what he said.
Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines,
if we do a really good job on new vaccines, what else?
Healthcare, reproductive health services.
Reproductive health services. This is your Margaret Sanger, okay, Planned Parenthood stuff, right?
Because we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
We could lower the Earth's population by 10 to 15%. He said that. So if these things were here to help us, why would he just say that if we do a good job on new vaccines, healthcare, and reproductive health, we could lower the number of the population of the earth by 10 to 15%? Why would you want to lower the number of the earth population? Why? What's wrong with the people on earth? What's wrong with us? Why? And this is the reason why they want us out the way, because we're starting to catch on to what they've been doing to us for years. Thank you, Yvonne, for the super chat. All praises. Appreciate you. Now we can see what happens when the children of God start to wake up, because now we're on to their scheme. We actually make up the bulk of the earth. So when they looking at the numbers and the so-called minorities are not taking their stuff anymore, and it's not, not doing not following their educational system, okay, not going to their churches anymore. When they see those numbers, that alarms them. That lets them know that, okay, we're losing control. And if we don't have control, if we don't put these slaves back into their positions, we won't have an empire to run. An empire has to be run off of servants. So what happens when your servants no longer follow suit? What happens when your servants or your slave class no longer wants to take the things that's keeping them sick and docile and not questioning nothing? Because why? What do you think is going to happen? Two kingdoms cannot rule at the same time. One kingdom is always going to oppose the other kingdom. And this is the reason why when Jacob and Esau came out the womb, what it said? For Jacob held fast the heel of his brother Esau when he came out the womb. It tells us in the book of 2nd Esdras what? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the one, or the beginning of it that followeth. So there's going to be a changing of the guards. But if we don't act, in their minds, if we don't act quickly and get these people out the way, we ain't going to have a world to rule. But it's prophecy. Eventually, y'all not going to have a world to rule, because our kingdom is coming next. Like, What are you guys fighting? What are you guys fighting against? Don't fight me. You gotta fight the king, and he's coming soon. Trust, he's on his way. Ain't nothing y'all gonna be able to do here. All right, ain't nothing y'all gonna be able to do. He's coming. So y'all, everything that y'all been doing to us, y'all gotta take it up with him. He's gonna require that from you. Wanna know how? Let me show something. Let's open up this book now. Let's open up this book. Let's open up this book. Let's open up this book now. And brothers and sisters, thank you guys for coming in. Continue to hit that like button on your way in. Drive the traffic, please. Let's go to Psalms. Let me read this. I'll read a couple of scriptures, and then I'm gonna be out y'all way. See? Look at this. Psalms 137:1. Look, it says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, when we remembered Zion. And this was what happening to our forefathers and our foremothers when they came off those ships. They was like, yo, where are we right now? What is this place? And this is the reason why they had to do away with the ancients of our people. Okay, this is the reason why they had to get them out the way, because if they kept them alive, they would have just been passing down the tradition, passing down the history from the next generation to the next. They had to do away with them, our forefathers and our foremothers, to fully indoctrinate us to what we see today. But it's not but it's only because of the grace of the Most High that we know what we know today. The Most High is doing good on his promise of reviving us like he said he would. Right? It says here, we hung our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. This is what they required of us. This is what they use us for our talent and our spirit. They know that the talent and the spirit come from us. And that comes straight from the Most High. You can't teach some of the things that we know. You can't teach it. There's no way you could teach it. Some things just happen naturally. A baby be born and could sing better than their number one recording artist. How is that possible? No school training, no nothing. Just naturally could just do it. Gift from the Most High, right? How long shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? And that's what we're starting to realize. How are we going to be happy in a strange land? How are we going to continue working for these people day in and day out and get nothing in return? And not see nothing wrong with how we're being treated? How long shall we do this? That's what we say. See, David said this. David said, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. He was like, yo, I don't even want to learn how to write anymore. All of the skills that I have in my right hand, I don't even want, let me not perform it in a strange land. Because it's not going to be used to give the Father glory. It's giving this nation glory, this kingdom glory. That's why he said what he said. What? He said, if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. And you see, this is what we lost. This is what our people forgot. And this is why I said in the beginning of this broadcast that they've done a great job teaching us to not regard our condition. the plight that we're going through in this land, they taught us to accept it like, yo, it's normal. Where David is saying, if I do not remember thee, Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. I don't even want to know how to speak if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. What he says here, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And this is how we know this is a prophetic scripture, because this never happened to King David. King David was under bondage of under no man. While he was king, the children of Israel was not under bondage under no empire. So this is how you know David was a prophet. David was prophesying what he saw through the spirit, what would happen to the king, to the children of Judah. What? He remembered in the day where it said, when Edom said, raise it even to the foundation of thereof. So the Most High gave David a vision or a revelation of what would happen to Jerusalem in 70 AD, when the Romans came and sacked Jerusalem. See? O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall we be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall we be when the tables is now turned on your head, because this is what we see happening, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Let me read that again. O daughter of Babylon. And this is how we know, like I said, this is how we know David was speaking in the spirit, because David was never under the captivity of Babylon. And look how he referenced it as the daughter of Babylon. So it's not the actual Babylon, it's an offspring of Babylon, which we understand is here now. Tell me David wasn't a prophet. Huh? He said, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. David wrote this for us. Understand that David wrote this for us. Look, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. Because what do you think? What do you think they did to us? What do you think they was doing to our babies? Wait until the mother fall asleep and going into their little huts and cottages and stealing the baby from the mother's arm and using the babies as gator bait. That's pure wickedness. Like, there's not enough, like you couldn't find a rabbit somewhere. Like you couldn't hunt a fox and use a fox as bait. You couldn't get some snakes or some or some worms to use as bait. But you used to take our little ones as babies and use them as gator baits. How evil could you actually be? What type of level of evil is in you to do something like that? So when David said this, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against a stone, he meant that. Because the Most High showed him what would happen, what would become of his people. You see? But I'm telling you, we waking up again. This is what it looks like when we start to wake up, when we start to realize, yo, the hand always been against us. The same people that say that, yo, they here for us, we're gonna march with y'all, okay? Matter of fact, we're gonna heal y'all, we're gonna help y'all. And don't get me wrong, not all of them in the healthcare system is against our people, okay? Now I'm not gonna say that, right? Because there are some good physicians out there. It tells you that the Most High is the one who gives the physician the knowledge. Those who haven't forsaken him. But those who forsake the Most High, he lets you fall into the hands of a wicked physician. That's just what the scripture says. Okay, but we understand that there is good physicians out there who do their best and really want to help people. But there's some of them out there that they just want to check. And the more people that they could give stuff to, the fatter the paycheck. It's just the industry, right? Let me read this. I'm in the book of Deuteronomy. Look at this. Look. And this is the blessing that Moses gave to the children of Israel before his passing. Deuteronomy 33:26, it says, "There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun." Jeshurun is just another poetic name for the children of Israel. It's like a nickname. Like if you have children, sometimes you don't call them their full name. You would have a nickname for them. That's what it is for when you see this name right here, Jeshurun. So it says, "There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in his excellency on the skies." It says, the eternal God is thy refuge. See, this whole time, the Most High been our refuge, but no one taught us. No one pointed us to the right direction. Here it is. They know that we were the people of God. We're the children of God, but they refused to help us. They refused to give us a chance. And here it is. The whole time the Most High was telling us who he is for us. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. So once that happens, because we see it happen. This is what it looks like when we start to wake up and find our God. He said, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. What? Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee. There's nobody like unto us. O people, saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help. And who is the sword of thy excellency? And thine enemies shall be found liars. And this is the reason why they trying to reset this whole thing. Because the Most High is revealing to us who been lying to us this whole time. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. So the Most High is telling, or Moses was giving us this blessing that, eventually the Most High will turn the tides. And this is what we see happening. This is the reason why we don't get equal pay, equal justice, equal nothing. Because it's not going to be them to give it to us. And this is what the Most High want us to realize. This is what the Most High want us to know. No man shall buy you. No man shall save you from your plight. Right? We reading it right here. It's the Most High that's going to reveal to us like, that's them. They're the ones who've been lying to you. So you're going to continue to follow them, or are you finally going to follow me? That's what the Most High is saying. Right? Y'all got to understand how real these scriptures are. Y'all got to understand what it means for us. Salvation is at the other side of this. Right? This is why we got to pray daily. Not just for ourselves, but for our children. When they leave the house and they come home, right, safely, we got to pray over them, because look what's out there. Look at the people that are taking advantage of our children when in our absence. that's trying to bully them and make them feel like they're nothing. Like we in so-called 2026 and we can't even walk into a store and purchase something without being labeled as a thief. Fearing if we gonna come back home the same way we left. That's what's out there. And it's by the grace of the Most High that He's protecting us from some of these atrocities that we hear that's happening to other people. We mourn for these people and it's sad, but we got to thank the Most High that He's shielding us at least from these things, because we read about it, we see it, but the Most High have a hedge of protection over us where it's not falling on us. We got to praise the Most High for that. And I pray that through these things that our people are seeing, that they too also turn back to the Father, turn to the Most High, repent, and have Him direct our ways. That's the only way we're gonna make it out of this thing. Right? Nobody could do it. No Black Panther Party, no what you call them? No Muslims. What you call them? 5%ers, Muslims. What they call the Farrakhan and them? I keep calling them the Muslims, but y'all know what I'm talking about. None of these organizations could save us. None of these organizations could set us free. Nation of Islam. That's what I'm thinking about. The Nation of Islam. They can't do nothing for us. The Most High is allowing these different factions to rise, then to smash them, and then be like, yeah, I brought it to naught. Y'all gonna try to turn to me yet? The God of Jacob, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Are y'all gonna try me? Or are you gonna stay with your own devices? You're gonna continue going and falling into witchcraft and necromancy and all this astrology and horoscopes. You're gonna continue to let those be your gods? Those gods can't save you. And that's the thing with people, like these people, our people be turning to dark magic and still be poor. I mean, like what? Shouldn't you be rich dealing with your sorcerers? Y'all be in all type of witchcraft and all type of dark magic, but you still poor. You still right here with me. What? How that make sense? So instead of you repenting and trying the God of Israel, you still dealing with lesser gods. Let's see how far that takes you. Right? Let's go here. I wanted to go to Isaiah 48. Is that what I wanted to read? Can't remember if I want to read this one. Let's read this. Let's read this, and then after this, I'm out of here. Right? So we in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 12. Let's listen to what the Most High says here. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel. So he's speaking to the 3 tribes, southern kingdom, and the 10 tribes, Israel. All 12, basically. My called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. Now, who is this that's speaking? Huh? Who is this that's speaking? Christ. We know that Christ said in the book of Revelations, he said what? I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. It's Christ speaking here to us. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. And understand this. He's the one who called us. Christ is the one who called us. He said what? Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I called unto thee, Or when I called unto them, they stand up together. Verse 14. All ye, assemble yourselves and hear. Which among them have declared these things? When he says which among them have declared these things, point to me the gods that you was following before that revealed any of this information to you. Call your necromancers, call your astrologers, call your wizards, and see if they could show you what I can show you. This is what he's saying. He says, all ye assemble yourselves and hear. Which among them have declared these things? The Lord hath loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldeans, the sorcerers in the midst of Babylon. Okay? I, even I, have spoken. Yea, I have called him. I have brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. Come ye near unto me. Hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning. From the time that it was, there am I. And now the Lord God and his Spirit have sent me. This is Christ speaking here. Thus saith, see, let me go back to verse 16. This is Christ saying that he's seen everything from the beginning. He was there in the beginning. Where it says when the Most High said, let there be light, that was him creating Christ. We know that it wasn't the Son, the S-U-N, because the Son wasn't created until what, the fourth day? So when the Most High said, let there be light, this was Christ. This is why he said, well, I have not spoken secret from the beginning. From the time that it was, there am I. See? Christ was there from the beginning. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee to profit. So he's the one that takes the credit. The Most High takes the credit. Christ takes the credit for what we know and understand. He teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. And haven't Christ and the Most High have done this since the time we came to this truth? Haven't the Most High been steering us and guiding us and leading our path out of harm's way as a shepherd? You can't make this stuff up. Here it is, it's written right here, and we live it. Right? We live it. Which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments. He said, only if you just listen to my commandments. Then had thy peace been as a river. You see, a peaceful river we would have been on. But the fact that we didn't listen to the Most High's commandments, our river was rocky. Right? Waves and rigid rocks. I mean, it is a lesson learned. Let me read that again. He says, oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments. Then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea. Thy seed also had been also, sorry, let me say that again. Thy seed also had been as the sand, and the offspring of thy bowels like the gravel thereof. His name should not have been what? Cut off nor destroyed from before me. So this is clearly showing that the children of Israel at a time, we were cut off as a people. Even though we were as the sand of the sea. But for a time, we were cut off. This is what Christ is telling us here. Verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon. Flee ye from the Chaldees. with a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth, say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob. And this is what they can't stand. The fact that Christ prophesied this, because we're reading it right now in Isaiah 48, and we were doing that exact thing. And this is what they don't want us to hear. This is what they didn't want us to do. This is what they didn't want to see. A nation of people coming back to their God and prophesying that it's the Lord God, the God of Israel, through Christ, who is redeeming his servant Jacob, the real Jacob. We're reading it, and we've been living it. Yo, what he said, and I thirst, and they thirst, not when he led them through the desert. See, and this is what we letting them know as a confirmation to us as for our faith. When the Most High led us and Christ led us through the desert, we didn't die of thirst. We didn't starve because of not having no food. We were taken care of in the wilderness. So this is the same power, the same God, the same leader, king, shepherd that's leading us right now. And they thirst not when he led them through the desert. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He cleaved the rock also, and the waters gushed out. But what? There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. And that should be understood. There is going to be no peace for the wicked. How could you expect peace for all of the confusion that you've put on the earth? All the these mad scientist experiments that you've done on our people. Going above and beyond the punishment that the Most High gave us. How could you expect peace? This is the reason why Edom is crashing out right now. Like, yo, if we can't have this world, no one will. Push the button. This is the reason why y'all boy Donald Trump, as soon as he got into office, the first thing he did was went to war. Starting with the Venezuelans, taking the oil. Yeah, I'm taking this. This is mine. I'm taking that. Oh yeah, go to Iran. I want the Strait of Hormuz. I want control of that. This is mine. Oh, you don't want to do that? Sanctions. Tariffs. Crashing out right now. You're losing power. But when we see stuff like that, know that this is what the Most High is doing. The Most High is getting ready to free his people. This is the reason why we see Edom crashing out. Because why? He's the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. It's not hard to understand. But it's only difficult to understand if you're allowing the talking heads to continue to teach you. You're allowing them to keep telling you what's good, what's not. Do your research. Research is out there. Information is out there. You could now use AI to tell you what products is good. What does this word mean? What is the scientific meaning of this word? Like, what is that? What's this on the label? You could take a screenshot. Like you ever bought a product and they just have nothing but, when you look at the ingredients, the ingredients list, the first ingredient be water or agua, and then everything is like scientific names that you can't even pronounce. You could take a snapshot of that and have the AI define all of the words that's in there so you can know what you're putting into your body or on your skin. You can do that. We're in the age of information. There's no reason for anybody to be slow of learning. So it's up to you. It's up to you. You could act like nothing is happening and continue to watch your sporting events, continue to watch, your music videos and these award shows, and continue to fall back asleep, continue to keep partying and taking drugs and doing what you want to do. You could stay like that. You can, but it's not gonna stop what's coming to pass. You can't ignore it. It's not what? It's impossible. Like, how can you ignore something that's guaranteed to happen? It's your choice. It's your choice. This is why when we read earlier in Hosea 6, the Most High, he said what? Come unto me. Turn to me. It's a choice. And I remember years ago when Kanye West was being interviewed and he was saying slavery is a choice. Everybody was upset. Like, oh my God, how can you say that? People be getting so sensitive when they be talking about slavery, but not really listening to what he was saying. When he said slavery was a choice, of course it was a choice. We chose it. You know why? Let me show you right now. This is what he was referring to. For those of you guys who may be still skeptics or whatever the case is, this is what he was referring to. This is why slavery was a choice. Right here. It clearly tells you right here in the scriptures. You can choose it. And thank you, Will C99, for the super chat. All praises. Appreciate the support. Right? Look, Deuteronomy 28:1. What it says. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe to do all his commandments. You see, the word there says, if you choose. You see, if thou shalt hearken, if you will listen, right, unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So we had a choice to either listen and keep his commandments, or when you go down to verse 15, look at the other choice. But it shall come to pass if thou will not hearken. So if you don't want to do it, so that means the word if there is showing that there's a choice there. I mean, you could not do it. If you don't want to do it, this is what's going to happen. A reaction is a reaction. He said, but it shall come to pass if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And yes, one of the curses that came upon us and overtook us was slavery. So yes, it was a choice. So people were getting upset and flustered because he said that, but not really understanding what he was saying. We choose our conditions based upon the level of if we want to listen to our God or don't listen to our God. For example, look at the other nations. Look at the Chinese man. Look how he worship his God. And according to his God, he's blessed. Look at Ishmael. They worshiping their God. And they got their empire, they chilling, because they were listening to their God. But who's our God? Who's the God for the black and Hispanic man? Who's our God? Who's the God for the Native American Indians? Who's our God? Because we sure don't got a God, because look at our condition. Look at our condition. Where's our God? We steady following all of the gods of the nations, and look at our condition. The Muslims following their God, they following Allah, and they got their gas stations. We convert to being Muslims. Why you don't got a gas station? Where your gas station at, brother? Where your gas station? Right? The Muslims, they worshiping their God. They got many wives, whatever the case is, but they will never, ever give one of you their daughters to marry. Why is that? All of y'all Muslims out there, why you don't have an Arab wife? Why Ishmael never gave you one of his daughters to wife? If y'all supposed to be brothers, right? I dare you. I dare you. I dare one of y'all to go try to get an Arab woman to wife. And tell myself, yeah, we Muslims. They're gonna show you who the real Muslim is at that point. So don't come to me and tell me, yeah, this is the way. Where the way you're following, they wouldn't even give you a wife from their nation. So what are you talking about? But anyways, we got to make a choice. The choice is ours. We can no longer be ignorant in this age of information. It's crazy for us to still be ignorant in this age of information. It don't make any sense. But brothers and sisters, the choice that you've made up until this point, thus far, stay with this choice. And then see where the end see the end of the matter. See the end of the matter of the choice that you chose. And think, has the choice that you made following the Most High, following the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was that choice? Did he ever lead you astray? Did the God of Jacob ever lead you astray? Were you ever confused? And if you were confused, didn't the answer resolve itself by reading scripture, prayer? A lesson would come out and the answer what you was going through. So the Most High did not forget us. Christ didn't forget us. We forgot them. All right. So all praises be to the Most High, man. I appreciate all of you guys for coming in and partaking in this conversation. This was a great conversation. I pray that this information was edifying, especially for those who's never heard this before. I hope and I pray that this was edifying for somebody who's just searching and who wants answers, and they fall upon this and the Most High gives them, open up their eyes to see and their hearts to hear. But yeah, guys, that's it. I ain't got nothing else left for y'all. Right, but I pray that you all have a good night. Have a blessed night, matter of fact. Oh yeah, what I was talking about. Last week I was talking about before we get out of here, right? Last week I was talking about what's supposed to happen next week. This was the 16th. How there's supposed to be 3 major sporting events in the city at the same time, right? And it was a prediction of mine. I'm not saying I am predicting it, but I was just hypothetically speaking. Because we see how with the Knicks right now, what the Knicks is doing. Last night they won game. What is it? Game 4. And the city is going crazy. I did a video. If you guys can go catch that video too, I did a video on how crazy Knicks fans are right now. It's insane. And I could only see it getting worse, right? I could only see it getting worse if they win the actual finals, right? The city, I don't know if it's going to be safe in the city, right? But I said all that to say, it could happen. It could happen that way where next week, I'm praying nothing happens in the city. But it's going to be really interesting. 3 major sporting events is happening at one time. On the 16th, we got the Yankees playing at home. We have the Knicks. If it goes to game 6, the Knicks would be playing at home. Okay. And then we have the World Cup, where people from all over the earth right now is coming to the U.S. to watch and partake in the World Cup. So it's gonna be really interesting. So let's see. Let's see what happens next week. Hopefully, if the Knicks win, Saturday, they don't go into the next week and then, it's all chaos and mayhem. Who knows what could happen? I'm just saying, we just gotta be very careful when we out there. Pay attention, right? And you know, stay prayed up. Yeah, so yeah, man, you guys have a blessed night. Have a blessed night. Have a good day tomorrow, great day tomorrow. Have a good and great Sabbath. And definitely I will catch you, most high willing, on the next one next week. Right? Stay prayed up and sin not. I thank you all once again for coming in. This is my time with you all. But yeah. Have a good night. Shalom. I'll leave you all with this.
Are you tired of reading the Bible and not really understanding what it means? Yo, you know you're reading the book upside down? I need a teacher. I got the perfect solution for you. The Hebrew and Bible Academy got you all covered. There, you'll learn the original Hebrew language with Elder Lawya, groundbreaking news from around the world with Elder Shaphat, and all new up-to-date lessons, including ancient history with Elder Rawchaa. Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll there. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.